of odd size which are strictly increasing. Okay, so the alphabet now consists of tuples. Okay, so this is alphabets of, letters of. So for example, so this contains all the integers, but in addition also contains things like 1, 2, 3, and 7, 9, 10, 13, 14. Okay. And when I was trying to remember what GOGs were, what is the motivation for GOGs, I knew there was some biblical connection. And then I went to Wikipedia and I found this very interesting quote that just before the Iraq War, George Bush tried to get the support of France, and he approached Jacques Chirac, and he drew on thousands of years of history, blah, blah, blah. This confrontation is willed by God, who wants to use this conflict to erase his people's enemies before any children. So, and he apparently explicitly used the words Gog and Magog, which I found hilarious. So I say that a Gog word W of size n is a word that contains elements of A with the following conditions. The length of the word is n, which is the size. Each tuple has length at most n. Remember that letters consist of tuples which themselves have some length. And so each tuple has length at most n, and the maximum, which is the rightmost entry, is also at most n. And this is a condition which you might see has direct correspondence with ASMs, and which is that an integer in an even numbered position in a tuple is repeated in another tuple to its left and to its right in odd numbered positions. So essentially the even numbered positions are the minus ones in the ASMs, and there have to be 1 to the. So here is an example: 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, and this 2, 1, 3 is a permutation, and this is a more complicated example. And you can see, for example, the 2 in the even position has a 2 to its left and 2 to its right in odd positions. So here's the natural correspondence between the example I gave on the previous page. It corresponds to this ASM and to this monotone triangle. And now, so for this monotone triangle, I want to see if there is a natural notion of 312 avoidance. I can have gaps in this monotone triangle, and I want to see if this corresponds to some 312 avoidance in this larger set, in this set of words. So I say that an integer n is active with respect to a tuple if it's either larger than the largest element in the tuple, or if it's between an odd position, it's strictly between an entry in an odd position and in the next even position. So this definition is somewhat technical, but it's useful for us. For example, 2 and 5 are both active with respect to 1, 3, 4 because 2 lies between 1 and 3, but 3 is not active with respect to 1, 2, 4. And so we say that the integers ABC form a subsequence of this Gog word if they appear in odd positions, if the last entry is not in an even position between I plus 1 and k, and if the last entry is active with respect to xj. So this is somewhat of a technical definition, but we don't see how to get by without it. How much time do I have? 5 minutes. Okay. So now this is the definition I have for 312 patterns, and we call it 312 subpatterns. A word contains the 312 subpattern if it contains a subsequence CAB with A less than B less than C. So this B is now going to be active has to be active with respect to the tuple in which A is in. So here's a somewhat trivial example of a 312 subpattern. I don't need any activity condition because these are of length 1. But here is a more non-trivial and somewhat subtle example. This contains a 312 subpattern because this 4 is, it satisfies all the other conditions, but the most technical condition it satisfies because 4 is less is in between 3 and 5. Whereas this guy, where I've just interchanged the 3 and the 4, does not contain it. So it's okay. And now here's some remarks. But the obvious remark is that if CAB is a 312 subpattern, then C prime, which is the last entry here, A prime, which is the smallest entry here, and B is also a subpattern because 3 prime is larger than 3. So. But the not very subtle, but somewhat subtle condition is that if this is a 312 subpattern, then there exists a 312 subpattern where the tuples for 3 and 1 are consecutive. And this is reminiscent of, and this seems like therefore the correct generalization, because even in permutations, I just showed this result to you. And the main result that we have is that a Gauge word contains this 312 subpattern if and only if there exists a gap in the corresponding monotone triangle. And the same rules apply, that, and the same generalization holds that if the 312 pattern is present in tuples I plus 1j, then this is true if and only if there is a gap in rho I. So this is the main result, and this is somewhat technical, so I'm not going to go through it. But I want to describe the bijection now, and I don't have much time for that. And this quote, of course, is very inspiring for me, and it's like, these conjectures are of such compelling simplicity that it's hard to understand how any mathematician can bear the pain of living without understanding why they are true. And therefore, I sort of risk my possible tenure track position for trying to find a bijection, and I was lucky enough to succeed in one special case. So I just quickly defined Magaugs for you, and they are integers also ordered in triangular form as before, but the conditions are a little different. Each entry is less than or equal to n in a Magaug triangle of order n. They are weakly increasing, but they're weakly decreasing along both the rows and both the columns, and each entry has to be greater than or equal to the row that they contain. So here is an example of a Magaug triangle, and these are naturally related to totally symmetric self-complementary point partitions. This is in the famous work of Ms. Robinson Ramsey. And I say that a Magaug triangle contains a gap at rho I if there exists a j such that bi plus 1j minus bij is greater than 1. So this is the inverse of the Gauge gap. I mean, the gap in the Gauges was one way, and this is the other way. And now, this is open. I mean, I don't know what the natural structure on TSSCP is that gives rise to gaps. For n equals 3, there's only one gapped Magaug which corresponds to this. What to say about that? Now I said that there's so for any gapless Gauge or a gapless Magaug, I have a natural bijection. Am I over time? Okay, sorry, I'll just get done very quickly. So for a gapless Gauge triangle, I just build Bij as Aij plus 1 I minus j, and I get a gapless Gauge triangle, and that's a bijection. So I just add 1 to this diagonal. I mean, I add nothing to the first diagonal, I add 1 to the first diagonal, 2, and blah, blah, and I get a gapless Magaug. So gapless Gauge gives rise to a gapless Magaug, and vice versa. So I'm sorry for explaining. Thank you.
We have time for one question. So your tool motivation is to find the bijection between everything.
Yes, that's what I was trying.
Okay, we have a coffee break until